So what is quarantine protocol to look at houses? You're a buyer and you need to buy. How on earth do we navigate this quarantine period during a safer at home order? That's what we're going to be talking about today, so stay tuned. How do you navigate quarantine and safer at home order when you're a buyer that needs to buy? Hi, I'm Kelly Doyle with Kelly Doyle Homes and Realty Executives, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's find out, how do you do this thing during a safer at home order? I have some best practices and tips that we should definitely follow in order to get through this thing together. Let's dive in. Number 1, qualified buyers only. This is huge even before coronavirus came about. A lot of times buyers just really want to look at homes before they actually get a pre-approval letter from a lender. I'm not sure what that's about. I think it's just the exciting process of home searching, and the exciting part is actually looking at homes, not doing all of the paperwork up front. However, before coronavirus or after coronavirus, qualified buyers only is definitely something that everybody needs to be following during this time. Sellers do not want you in their home if you are not qualified. Realtors should not be showing you homes if you're not qualified, and you shouldn't be looking at homes if you haven't been qualified yet. Even if you think it's a slam dunk, you know you have great credit, you know your income is able to support the price that you want, it doesn't matter. There can always be surprises that come up, and right now there's a lot of lending changes happening. You have to get qualified first. That means you have to have the pre-approval letter from the lender in your possession in order to look at homes right now. The second part of the qualified buyers only is qualified means healthy as well. And so no buyers should be looking at homes, and again, this goes without saying, but no buyers should be looking at homes that are experiencing any cold or flu-like symptoms. If you have any cold or flu-like symptoms, please let's keep everybody safe and healthy and make sure that you stay home for at least 14 days. Number 2, do your research. There is so much information that you can find out before going and actually looking at the home. There is so much information on the listing information sheet that the seller and the seller's agent fill out before they list the property. There is a lot of good tips in there and good information that you can use to decide if you need to weed that off of your list and not go actually look at it in person. Make sure your realtor, your agent is reviewing that as well, because if you sat down or did a virtual consult, depending when you got started, your agent should have a pretty good idea of what you're looking for and what your must-haves are and what things you might be willing to wiggle on. And so, for example, make sure you're reviewing that listing sheet closely. Does the house have no basement and you didn't realize it? Is there no central air and you didn't realize it? And you know things like that are gonna just make it not an option for you. Do you have to have all 4 bedrooms on one level? That is all information that we will know before we even go and look at the house. And so make sure that you're really looking at that listing information sheet closely. Make sure your agent is reviewing it to make sure that it does check all the boxes and that you're not missing something that would make it not an option for you. You can also most times get a hand of the real estate condition report. The real estate condition report is also a handy tool that you're going to want to review before you actually set up an in-person showing to go and look at the house. Sometimes the real estate condition report will say it has a leaky basement. If you're a buyer that knows they do not want to buy a house that has a leaky basement, that makes it easy. Then it's going to get checked off the list. And so make sure you're getting any documents that they have available, subdivision restrictions, encroachment information, whatever information they have available, look over it, look through it, read through it, and make sure that all those things still work for you and that this house is still, in fact, an option after reviewing all of these reports. Another really important thing to do is to make sure that you drive by the house first before setting up a showing. It's so important because I cannot tell you how many times buyers will drive up to a home and as soon as they pull up, they decide that they don't like it. They don't like the way the exterior siding looks. They don't like the way the neighbor's property looks because it's full of junk and campers and old cars. They don't like that it backs up to commercial. They don't like that it's only one house away from a busy street. They don't like this or they don't like that. It's so important to go and drive by the house first so that you know, again, if it really is something that you're super serious about and maybe want to put in an offer. And knowing the location, knowing what it backs up to, what it's across the street from, how the yard is situated, is it too sloped? Is it too flat? Whatever it might be for you. You can find all that stuff out before going and actually setting up an in-person showing. And also, if they have a virtual tour available, make sure that you're watching that and not just glancing through the photos or glancing through the virtual tour. I would imagine in this day and age, hopefully the listing agent has 1 or 2 of those available. Hopefully right now they do have a virtual tour, so you can actually get inside the house virtually, see the layout, see the floor plan, look closer at everything to make sure that, again, it does match your criteria and what you're looking for. If they don't have a virtual tour, look through those photos closely. Try to piece together the layout so that you're understanding the house well, and so that you, again, really know if you are really interested in taking a look at that home. We just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can up front so that we don't just pull up or walk in and in 5 minutes we know it's not an option. We want to try to prevent our in-person meetings and do everything we can virtually before actually having to meet in person. Number 3, in-person showings. So you've done all your research, you've driven by the property, we've looked through the reports, we've reviewed the listing information sheet correctly, you've looked through pictures, virtual tour, etc. And this is really a house that you're interested in. It's time to set up an in-person showing. So there's gonna be some guidelines and some protocol that we need to follow in order to try to maintain that safer at home, social distancing rules that are going on right now while looking at the house in person. Only decision makers may view the property right now. I know a lot of times I have buyers and their parents want to come and look at the home, or maybe they have some friends they want to get some opinions from, or a significant other, or that isn't necessarily buying the house with them. Right now, we need only the decision makers to be in the house. And so unfortunately, that means the parents got to stay home, friends and family have to stay home, and that does include children as well. And so while we can try to work things out, if you do have kiddos, we could, maybe set up a showing where one person goes in while the other sits in the car with the kiddos or something like that. But as far as trying to limit the number of people that are going through the home, it's going to have to be decision makers only right now. Another thing we can do while we're at the house is to be as protective as we can. That would include wearing booties in the home, not touching anything in the home if possible. Hopefully the sellers will leave all the lights on and open doors for us and cabinets for us so that we don't have to touch anything. Masks, gloves, these are all great things to help protect us. And if you also have hand sanitizer or hand wipes, I will bring those things to showings. Sometimes sellers will have those available for us as well. But just using those if you have to open something instead of your hand is a great idea right now, just to keep us all safe. And so it's not uncommon if I'm showing somebody a house right now for me to look something like this. It's a brave new world out there, so don't be alarmed. I'm just showing a house. Number 4, safe negotiations and then next steps. So safe negotiations just means that after we look at the house, we're not gonna hang out in the house and linger. We are gonna do what we need to do. We're gonna look at the house. We're going to take a second look at anything that you might need to take a second look at and make sure that you feel like you've seen everything you need to see. And then we're gonna leave. And then we'll either, we could maintain social distance in the driveway or in the yard, or even better yet, we can discuss anything we need to discuss on the phone afterwards. We don't need to do this in person right now with the Safer at Home order in effect. It's really easy to discuss contract terms over the phone, or we can set up a virtual meeting via one of the many methods out there right now. And so we can have a virtual meeting or discuss things on the phone if it is something that you do decide that you want to put an offer in on. And so that makes it really easy. I have digital signatures, and that was before coronavirus as well. So thankfully, due to our techie age, we are able to do everything online. So we don't have to actually meet in person to go over the contracts. We can discuss everything. I can draft everything up, send it over for you to sign, and do everything digitally with the seller, negotiations and all. The next steps portion of this also comes into play because we'll have a few more hurdles that we need to get through along the home buying process. And so things like a home inspection, for example, will come up. And home inspectors right now, a lot of them are asking that buyers not attend the home inspection. That might sound great to you. If you're a buyer that would really want to be there, we would have to just find a home inspector that would be able to accommodate that right now, given the Safer at Home order. However, I can assure you that most inspectors do phenomenal jobs at their reports. And the reports are extremely detailed and usually are accompanied by photos and or maybe even videos of the issue. And so it's really easy to get a good sense of the issues that were found on the home inspection without even having to attend. Final walkthrough would be another step that we would have to go to the house for you to be able to look through the home. This is a step where I would say you could go through the home on your own, because usually the house is vacant and we're just looking for issues at that point. And so again, to eliminate that social contact, it would be something that you could go through the home, ensure that the condition of the home was in fact still acceptable, and then we could head on to closing. Realtors will not be attending closings right now due to the quarantine and everything. They're asking that only decision makers that have to sign go and attend the closing. Different title companies are handling closings differently right now. Some title companies are doing drive-through closings. Some title companies are allowing remote closings. However, that would come back to your lender and whether or not your lender would allow you to sign remotely. And so that would be something we would have to navigate ahead of time. If it's something where you do need to go in person to sign the documents, we would have to navigate that with the title company just to figure out your options and ways to handle that. So those are some tips on how we are navigating this quarantine period and how to move forward with your real estate needs during a safer at home order. If you have any questions or you want these tips emailed to you, please email me at kelly@kellydoylehomes.com and I'd be happy to get that over to you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.